Huge debate across the country. And I'm not going to tell you how to think about that debate as far as what positions you should take on it, but I will give you some information. Here are the issues. Last fall, under President Bush, we used public monies to fund private institutions. After President Obama became president in February, we used public monies in the stimulus program to fund special interest groups. Shortly thereafter, we used public monies to fund private institutions, and we took away some people's property rights by circumventing the laws of bankruptcy. And now we are engaged in a great debate about health care reform. Is there some inalienable right covered under the Constitution that the federal government should provide health care? Not going to go there as far as what you should think or how you should think about those particular issues. But let me give you some information on perhaps how you might go about thinking about those issues. First and foremost, you need to put things into context. And with respect to Leroy, I'm glad that he said this when he was first talking. You know, he started watching TV and he clenched his fist and he started getting a little bit mad, and he knew that there was something wrong. But what he did was he was starting to get the context of what was going on around him. He started to see that there were issues out there, and he knew that there was something wrong. He just didn't know what it was. But you need to be aware. You need to be up on the issues. You need to watch the news, but watching the news isn't enough. You need to research the news. You need to look at different sources, because the sources are biased out there, and they're biased in all directions, okay? So you need to look at all kinds of sources and get your sources in so that you can put things into context. That's number one. Number two, you need to educate yourselves. And education has been the theme of this evening. That's what the Muskegon Patriots are really all about. Let's help people get educated about the Constitution, the Founding Fathers, etc. Let's arm ourselves. And education is the armor and the ammunition that you're going to use in order to support and defend the Constitution. And so you need to read the Constitution. We could have read this Constitution in the time that it is going to take for all the speakers to speak tonight. It's not very long. It's written very straightforwardly. It means what it says, and it says what it means. There are no tricks, there are no gimmicks, and if you're smarter than a fifth grader, you ought to be able to figure it out. Okay? Honestly, you can do this. Read it. Secondly, you need to put the Constitution in the context of how it was written, and Ruth started to talk a little bit about that, but understand and read the Declaration of Independence, and I believe that the Constitutions that Leroy and the company were passing out tonight has a copy of the Declaration of Independence in it as well. But read the list of offenses that our founding fathers listed to show why it was that we were breaking off from England. And then third, and this will take a little bit more doing, but you should probably read the Federalist Papers. And that's probably if you want to get an A+ in the class. You know, read the Federalist Papers, because the Federalist Papers are important, because that is the Founding Fathers' words of what the pieces of the Constitution actually meant. They argued back and forth in the newspapers of the time to try to make sure that everybody understood what they were passing with the Constitution. So, educate yourself. Number three, after you've educated yourself and you're aware of the issues, then speak out. Engage. Get yourself involved. Go to rallies. Meet people. Talk to your friends, your neighbors. Particularly talk to your children. It's very important to talk to your children. Talk back to the radio stations. Call into your radio host. Write letters to your TV stations. Write letters to your newspapers. Blog online. Go in on forums. But engage. Engage in the great national debate that's going on right now. And it is one great national debate. Okay? No matter what anybody says, they may try to throw some diversions at you about, well, these people are this or these people are that. It really only comes down to, does the Constitution cover what the federal government is trying to do right now? Are those actions constitutional or aren't they constitutional? That's what the debate is all about. A lot of fluff around it, but that's what the debate is. And then fourth, once you've had that chance to debate, and once you've had that chance to educate yourself, and once you've had that chance to put this all into context, you pull out the biggest piece of ammo that you have, your vote. Okay? It's all about the vote. It's all about your vote, and it's all about your neighbor's votes. Now, I don't have to come down here and tell you that Minnesota just went through a time frame where it came down to who was going to be their senator, either Norm Coleman or Al Franken, and it was only a difference of a couple hundred votes. About as many people as right here. A few years back when George Bush and Al Gore were running for the presidency, it came down to a few hundred votes down in Florida. Vote, vote, vote. Because your military members are out there and they've sworn this oath that they are going to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Can you do any less than the same as a citizen? And that's a challenge to you. So I ask you to become engaged. I ask you to educate yourself. I thank the Muskegon Patriots for providing us this forum, this opportunity for us to get together. Please, I beg of you, get involved. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Fred, thank you very much. God bless you, sir. And I appreciate, as on behalf of Muskegon Patriots again and Americans in general, what you've done for our country. Thank you, sir, very much. Another round of applause, please.